So for this one, I really wanted to play with some interesting materials to find some really cool shapes. And I thought it would be cool to take this Dollar Tree bucket that I had and to line it with some bubble wrap to see if it could make some cool indentations. And what I did was I taped the bubble wrap to the container, and then I poured in my concrete like I've been doing with all the other things. And I actually put a empty cardboard box that I had filled with rocks in it just to weigh it down, and it created this really cool vessel. I decided that this could make a cool place to put an interesting plant, and so what I did was I took some aloe vera and I planted it in this oddly geometric kind of rough shape, and I think it looks really interesting. Here are some easy crafts that incorporate using some trash and concrete. I wanted to find a way to make some use of things that we normally throw away and see if I could turn them into something more interesting. Before I poured the concrete in, I wanted to tape the corners just to make sure that none of the concrete actually leaked out. The method I've been using to make all of these concrete forms was first by starting off, I took some quick setting concrete and I used a sifter that I got from the dollar store, and I poured the concrete mix through the sieve, and so I could separate all of the little tiny little pebbles that comes in most forms of concrete. That way I could get a smooth concrete to work with without having too many rocks in it. There were still some small pieces in there, but it was totally manageable. To create the negative space, I took some cereal boxes and I filled it with the rock pieces that were left over from sifting the concrete, and I put it into two different cereal boxes, and I placed the cereal boxes in the larger mold after I had already poured the concrete in. I kind of thought this would be really useful as something like a catch-all. I think it would be really interesting to put like postcards or thank you notes, markers, pens, all those kind of things in here. Or you could even put some like dishwashing tools, some soap, and all that kind of stuff to put in the bathroom. And then I put it on the floor, and I also thought, you know what, this would actually make for a good pet dish. So maybe if you do have dogs or something, maybe you want to try this to use as a food bowl. Okay, so for this one, I took this old raisins container that I had, and I actually just put dry concrete in it, and I wanted to mix the concrete in the container itself just to save time. And then what I did was I had this old toothbrush holder that came with a bunch of toothbrushes that I bought, and all I did was filled it with rocks and just press it down in here, and I weighted it down until it was dry. So after it was dry, I took it out of the paper carton and I just let it sit out so they could dry fully all around the sides. And I took a piece of sanding paper to the top to just get rid of a little bit of that discoloration that was sitting on the top, and that was it. I hope you enjoyed these projects, and I'll see you on the next one.